Hi, my name is Emerson from BSAE 2A, and in this video, I'm going to discuss the conditional probability and independence. So, let's start. Conditional probability and independence. So, let's start first with the conditional probability. So, what is the definition of conditional probability? It's sometimes the occurrence of one event alters the probability of occurrence of another event. Such events are called dependent events. Also, it is the probability of something given that something else has occurred. So, kapag sinabing conditional probability, yung probability ng isang event ay nakadepende sa isang event that has already occurred. So, para mas maintindihan natin ang conditional probability, let's have an example. For example, given that I'm going to school today, what is the probability that I will do mathematics today? So, given a certain situation that has already occurred, and inside that situation, there is a condition, which is yung probability that I will do mathematics today. Inside that situation, there is a condition, which is, sa example natin, if I will do mathematics today. Kumbaga, there is an event, and in that event, there is a condition, and the probability of it is what we are looking for. So, paano siya natin isulat as notation? So, ganito lang yan. Probability of B given A. So, ang basa natin dyan is probability of B given A. Yung vertical line, ang basa dyan is given. So, yung probability of B is dependent sa event of A. So, meaning, yung A natin dun sa example, yung event A natin dun sa example is that given na I'm going to school today. And yung B naman is the probability that I will do mathematics today. So, the event B is dependent on event A. So, A has already occurred and B is what we are looking for, the probability of I will do mathematics today. So, let's proceed to the formula. So, the formula of conditional probability is probability of an event A given B is equal sa probability of A and B or intersection B over probability of B. Right now, it is not necessary that you already have any idea how to work these things out. That is why we're going to have different sets of examples to deeply understand this topic. So, let's have our first example. Let's say we have a 6-sided die with a sample space of the numbers 1 all the way to 6. So, ang sample space natin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, let an event A is any time that we get an odd number by rolling a die. So, ano yung mga odd numbers natin sa sample space? So, ang odd numbers natin sa sample space is 1, 3, and 5. Then, sa event B naman, let it correspond to the numbers 3, 4, and 5. So, how do we solve this? So, before natin gamitin yung formula, let's have an easy and simple way to solve this kind of problem. So, probability of A given B is equal sa, so, kapag sinosolve mo siya, think of how much of A is in B. So, alam natin, dun sa intersection nung A and B, makikita natin sa Venn diagram, ilan yung possible outcomes. Bilangin natin yung possible outcomes dun sa intersection ng A and B. Diba, dalawa? So, how much of A is in B? Ilan yung nandun sa A na nandun din sa B? So, diba, dalawa? Tapos, dun sa event B naman tayo, ilan yung possible outcomes sa B? Yung total possible outcomes dun sa B is 3. So, that is our answer. So, if we were going to use the formula, so probability of A given B is equal sa probability of A intersection B probability of B. So, probability of A given B So, 2 over 6, di ba? Yun yung 2, yun yung intersection ng A and B. Then yung 6, yung total number of possible outcomes. Then sa probability of B is ilan yung outcome sa B? Total outcomes ng B is 3. 3 over 6 yung sample space natin. So, cancel ito. Magiging 2 over 3. So, same answer lang. There are 500 students in a certain school. 180 students are enrolled in an algebra course and 110 students are enrolled in a chemistry course. There are 30 students who are taking both algebra and chemistry. If a student is chosen at random, A. What is the probability that the student is taking algebra? B. What is the probability that the student is taking chemistry given that the student is also taking algebra? B. What is the probability that the student is taking algebra given that the student is also taking chemistry? So, sa event A, there are 150 students sa algebra course. Then, intersection ng algebra and chemistry course is 30. So, bago natin siya isolve, kailangan natin ng Venn diagram. So, sa Venn diagram is nandun yung event which is yung nag-take ng algebra and yung nag-take ng chemistry course. So, 150 sa nag-take only sa algebra course only and 30 student yung nag-take ng both algebra and chemistry and 80 student naman sa chemistry only. So, unang problem is, what is the probability that the student is taking algebra? Probability of student taking algebra. So, ilan yung total student natin who are taking algebra only? Diba, 150. Tapos, yung sample space natin is 500. So, equals cancel 15 over 20. I mean 50. 15 over 50 equals 3 over 10 then equals 0.3 or 30%. So, 30% yung probability ng nagtitake ng algebra course only. Then, sabi naman, what is the probability that a student is taking chemistry given that the student is also taking algebra? Probability of chemistry given algebra. So, we're looking for the probability that the student is taking chemistry given that the student is also taking algebra. So, katulad nung pag-solve natin kanina, how much of C is in A? Diba 30? Kasi yun yung intersection nila. Then, ilan yung total student nasa event A? 150. So, kapag isa-solve natin siya, divided by 150 is 1 over 5. Kung sa decimal is 0.2 or 20%. So, sa C naman. So, what is the probability of the student taking algebra given that the student is also taking chemistry? So, how much of A is in C? So, ilan yung A? Diba? 30. Over, ilan yung total ng C? Diba? 80. So, cancel is equals na 3 over 8. So, paano naman siya isa-solve using the formula? So, probability of A given C is equal sa probability of A intersection C over probability of C equals, so ilan yung intersection ng A and C? 'Di ba 30. So since we're looking for the probability of it, so 30 over 500. Ito yung total ng sample space natin. Then over probability of C. So ilan yung nagte-take ng chemistry class? Only chemistry class only, 'di ba? 80. 80 over 500. So cancel the 500, magiging 30 over 80 or 3 over 8. Kaparehas lang siya nung sagot natin kanina. So, let's proceed to another topic under conditional probability. Diagnostic test. So, statistically are measures of the performance of a binary classification test. Clinically, the ability of the test to correctly identify those patients with the disease. So kapag diagnostic test, we're talking about the accuracy of a test in which the outcome is binary, meaning two possible outcomes. For example, a patient, does really the patient have the disease or not? Two possible outcomes only. Another example, COVID rapid test kit. How accurate is that rapid test kit in identifying whether the patient really is infected with COVID-19? So another example is identifying whether a woman is pregnant or not. How accurate is that pregnancy test kit in identifying whether a woman really is pregnant or not? Given the 2 by 2 table below, find the following. So find the probability of the test is positive given the disease is present. Ilan yung outcome natin dun sa test is positive? Diba? 2. Then dun naman, over sa disease, ilan yung total outcome naman dun sa disease is present? Diba? 5. So magiging 2 over 5 or 40%. In other words, out of 5 patients with the disease only, 2 were diagnosed by the test. Or 40% of those with the disease were correctly identified by the test. So next one, what is the probability of the test is negative given the disease is absent? So ilan yung outcome natin dun sa test is negative? So 6. Ilan yung total outcome natin when the disease is absent? 'Di ba 11? Hindi magiging 6 over 11 or 54.5%. So this means out of those people without the disease, 54.5% were correctly identified by the test. Next, what is the probability of the disease is present given the test is positive? So ilan yung probability which the disease is present? 'Di ba? 2. So ilan naman yung outcome when the test is positive? 'Di ba? 7. So 2 over 7 is equals 28.6%. Meaning, out of those patients which are diagnosed to be positive, 28.6% actually of them really have the disease. So next, what is the probability of the disease is absent when the test is negative? So, ilan yung outcome natin when the disease is negative? 'Di ba? 6. Then, ilan naman yung outcome natin when the test is negative? 'Di ba? 9. Magiging 6 over 9. In general, if you have a 2 by 2 table with these values that say A, B, C, and D, how are you going to get the probability of a test which is positive given that the disease is present? So, our numerator will be A over the total, then over the probability of the disease. So, A plus B over the total. So, it will be A over A plus B. Then, we may multiply it to 100%. And that is called the sensitivity of the test. It's the probability of the test to correctly diagnose who are really having the disease. Also, it is the accuracy of the test in giving out positive results. So next, what is the probability of the test is negative given the disease is absent? Our numerator will become D over the total over our denominator is C plus D over the total. It is equal to D over C plus D, and we may multiply it to 100%. This is called the specificity of the test. It is the ability of the test to correctly identify those who really do not have the disease. And also, it is the accuracy of the test giving out negative results. So next, what is the probability is present given the test is positive? So our numerator will become A over the total, and our denominator will become A plus C over the total. So the answer is A over A plus C and multiply it by 100. This is the predictive value or PPV. It is the ability of the test in detecting the presence of the disease when the test result is positive. Next, what is the probability of the disease is absent when the test result is positive? It should be equal D over B plus D, and we may multiply it to 100%. And that is called the negative predictive value. It is the ability of the test in detecting absence of the disease when the test result is negative. So keep in mind here that A is the number of true positive, B is the number of false negative, C is the number of false positive, and D is the number of true negative. So let's proceed to another topic, independence. Statistically, independence, the probability of one event B does not depend on the other's events A occurrence. Independent events. Two events A and B are said to be independent if and only if the probability of A given B is equals to probability of A, or the probability of B given A is equal to probability of B. This is equivalent to stating that probability of AB is equal to probability multiply probability of A. So, for example, a bag consists of 8 red marbles, 7 blue marbles, 6 green marbles, and 4 yellow marbles. What is the probability of selecting A red marble, B, a blue marble on the first try, and then a green marble on the second try, with replacement, C, a yellow marble on the first try, and then a red marble on the second try without replacement, D, two blue marbles with replacement, and E, two green marbles without replacement. So first, sulat natin yung mga given natin. So red is equal sa 8, B 7, green 6, yellow is 4. So ang total nito is 25. So let's proceed to the question. What is the probability of selecting a red marble? So probability of selecting red marble. So ilan yung red natin? 'Di ba 8 over yung total. So 25. 8 over 25 is equal sa 0.32. 0.32. So, kapag tinimes natin siya sa 100, magiging 32%. So, next question. What is the probability of selecting a blue marble on the first try and a green marble on the second try with replacement? Ibig sabihin, pagka bunot natin ng blue marble sa first try, then ibabalik natin siya para bumunot ng green marble dun sa second try. Ibig sabihin, independent event siya. So, probability of blue and green. So, it is equal to 7 over 25 multiply 6 over 25. So, dahil independent siya, makikita natin dito, 25 pa rin yung ginagamit natin na total outcomes. Kasi, with the replacement, ibig sabihin, kapag nabunot na natin yung blue, ibabalik natin ulit. So, it is equal to 7 over 25 multiply by 6 over 25 is equals to 42 over 6 to 5. So, in decimal is 0.0672 or 6.72%. So, next question. What is the probability of selecting a yellow marble on the first try and then a red marble on the second try without replacement? So, dito sa pangatlong problem natin siya, dependent event na siya. Kasi, yung pagkabunot mo ng yellow, pagkabunot mo ng yellow, yung mabubunot mo, hindi mo na siya ibabalik. So, therefore, probability of yellow and red. So, yung probability ng yellow natin is 4 over 25 multiply sa red natin. Probability ng red is 8 over 24. So, bawas na siya ng isa since nabunot na natin siya nung first try. So, it is equal to 4 over 25 times 8 over 24 so magiging 4 over 75. So in decimal is 0.053 or 5.3%. So, next naman is, what is the probability of selecting? So, next is, what is the probability of selecting 2 blue marbles with replacement? So, independent siya kasi with replacement. Kapag nabunot mo na yung isang blue, babalik mo siya ulit, then magpipick ka ulit ng blue. So it is equal to 7 over 25 times 7 over 25. Since dalawa siyang blue, magkaparehas lang. So, it is equal to 7 over 25 times 7 over 25 equals sa 49 over 6 to 5 or 0.0784. In percentage, it is equal to 7.84%. So, next problem. What is the probability of selecting 2 green marbles without replacement? So, dependent siya. Kasi, ibabalik mo. Kasi hindi mo ibabalik yung mabubunot mo. So, probability of 2 green. So, it is equal to 6 over 25 times 5 over 24. So, bawas na siya since hindi natin ibinalik yung unang nabunot natin. So, it is equal to 6 over 25 times 6 over 24 equals sa 3 over 50. 3 over 50 In decimal, 0.06 or 6%. That is our answer.